Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, then a little introduction. This is a place to share stories, adventures, and everything I wish I had known before embarking on them. My name is Drina, and you're watching From Fiji to Here. I've been to my fair share of countries, and quite frankly, my fair share of travel companions. As they've been introduced throughout the videos, I've gotten questions regarding who they are, how I know them, and just how we can get to know them better. So what better way to do it than do a whole series on this channel of interviews? Think of it as a twist on 20 questions. So today's video, we are going to introduce...
My name is Siera.
And how do you know me?
I met you on one of our trips when we went to Fiji together. You and I were Fiji sisters. We stayed in the same house for the first village and then requested to stay in the second house because we're good sisters. So, yeah.
And where have we traveled to together?
Oh, man. Well, Fiji, that was where we met. Technically traveled together.
Mm-hmm.
Cuba, Kelowna, in BC, and then all throughout Europe. If you want me to list all the countries as a challenge, I might be able to, but all Europe.
I'll save everyone the chance, and we'll just link the iCard here for the entire playlist. If you want to know every country. What is something you forgot to bring on the trip that you wish you had brought?
I always bring underwear. I feel like that's like the main thing you should always bring. Like, very important to say. I'm a very picky packer, so I tend to bring stuff. If I ever didn't bring something, it would have been a camera or technology piece that I thought, I don't need this. And then when I get there, I'm like, I should have brought this because this would have been nice to have. So it probably would have been like a nicer camera. And then I just take pictures on my phone, which is okay. But I think there's always been moments where I'm like, man, I should have brought this nice camera.
I mean, most of the times that I've traveled with you, I feel like I've had the camera equipment, so we've kind of like balanced each other out. But I can definitely see how that would be
camera,
something.
Drone,
yeah. And most of the time I had you taking pictures on something anyways. What is something that you could never travel without? So like your number one thing you have to pack, other than underwear, because you already mentioned that.
But it's a good joke. I think I always need a journal. It is something that helps me relax, and I feel like I'm capturing all the moments by writing it down. It's something that I need to do, as you know. And I think I could never, I think if I got somewhere and I didn't have a journal, the first thing I would do is go buy one.
So the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions are kind of like rapid fire, would you rather type questions. Plane, train, or boat?
Plane.
Backpack or suitcase?
Backpack.
Window or aisle seat?
Window.
Relaxation or adventure?
Adventure.
Pool or ocean?
Ocean.
Fair. I feel like, well, I'm not going to release the answers of all the other people, but there are a lot, there's a lot of similarities as you go through, and it's probably why we travel so well together, because I would pick a lot of the opposite or the same options, for window or aisle seat, for example, I would choose the opposite, I think.
Well, that's how we did it.
Yeah,
you had the aisle. I bothered you every time I had to pee.
But I didn't mind being bothered, so it was it worked out.
Versus when I slept in the aisle seat and anyone woke me, it was do you know how long it took me to fall asleep?
Yeah, exactly. It was easier and safer for all of us.
Yeah.
Next question. Would you ever solo travel?
Yes.
The next country or destination that you'd want to travel to?
Ooh, I gotta say, with this pandemic, I've been sitting and thinking about that a lot. And I actually want to go back to Portugal, where we were. I decided that I really want to go see that ocean again and spend longer there. So I think if it's an old place, I would go there in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. Somewhere new, I think, would be probably Philippines. We want to kind of check that area out. It's so beautiful and so cool. So new Philippines, old Portugal.
I can't wait to go to the Philippines. I feel like, oh, yeah. I feel like there's just so much, like, culture mixed in with, like, fun adventure stuff that, like...
Unique beauty that's there.
Yeah, it, like, ticks all the boxes. Yeah. Is there a country or destination that you'd never travel to?
I don't think so. I'm always conscious on safety, but I feel very open. If I ever have the opportunity to go a place, I'm going. There's no place I'm like, I wouldn't want to go there. I'm going.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Why? Is there a place you wouldn't go to?
There is, but I don't know. I shouldn't say I never go, because I feel like if there was a safe opportunity to do so, it would be very, like, interesting and intriguing. But I don't have any, like, burning desire to go to North Korea.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, it's not like I don't want to, I wouldn't seek out an opportunity to go.
Yeah. I don't think I would seek out an opportunity. I don't think I'd ever say no, but I also don't think there's any part in my life that would have that kind of opportunity, though. Right?
Never say never, girl.
True.
Magic of the universe. All right, what is something on your bucket list?
So many things.
You can narrow it to, like, top 3 if you can't pick one.
That's fair. I think number 1, I would like to go to some of the really cool art museums in Japan. I've always thought that their pictures that I've seen online are so cool and mind-warping that I'm like, yep, I need to go there and see this. Another kind of cool trip that I would like to plan, it's very geeky. My brother and I want to do a road trip through the States, visiting all the locations that they filmed for Star Wars, and, like, also in Europe for all the Star Wars locations. I think that's super cool and fun, so that's really on my list. I think those are my top 2 right now that I'm rolling around in my head.
I think that trip, for, like, the Star Wars trip, would be awesome, and just the memories created, like, on it as well. Oh, definitely a bucket list item. Which countries have you traveled to?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So, been throughout Canada and the States, and then I have been to Fiji and Cuba, and then Costa Rica, volunteered there. I've been to China, and I have been all throughout Europe. I could again list those countries, but there's no major point there. So I've been all throughout Europe, and yeah,
Do you think you could live in another country? And if so, which country?
Yes, I absolutely believe I could live in another country. I would be very picky with where I live because I do really enjoy living in Canada. I do believe that Switzerland, Denmark, those were amazing. I could probably live there, Sweden even. But I think if I had to pick, which is really funny, I'd probably pick Switzerland because of the mountains and the lakes and how similar it is to Canada. So that would be my pick.
I would not disapprove of you moving to Switzerland.
Yeah.
Feel free to send me an invite to come visit.
Yep, absolutely. Well, you're going to end up in Denmark anyway.
Yeah, it's just a quick, I could take a train, I could take a plane.
Absolutely. Beautiful train there. Absolutely.
I am totally okay with this plan. Favorite travel memory from a trip that we went on?
Oh, I got a lot of good memories with you, Drina.
Oh gosh. Preferably not a super embarrassing one.
That's fair. I think, I don't know if you want embarrassing or like thrilling, but I gotta say I will forever remember the egg on the train story for like the rest of my life.
Wait,
it was like
the egg on the train?
Yeah, the one where I went to get up to get eggs at the train station, and the trains were like parting, and I was on one train and you were on the other. I never got never got my eggs because I was realizing what was happening. So I'm like running through the train, and I get to the glass and there, and I'm like, oh my god, and you're like, oh my god, and you instantly like press the button and the doors open, and I like get on this train, and
I honestly forgot. I forgot this even happened.
It's stuck around because I see you on this side of the glass, I see you here, and I'm like, I need to be there. I cannot go this way. I don't know what country this train is going to. The eggs are not worth it.
Oh my god! All I remember.
That is a moment that will just forever stay. The absolute timing of that moment, like
yeah,
I could have gone to the washroom and then be in like France while you're somewhere in country.
It's like all flooding back to me, and all I can remember is like the sheer panic on my face, being and like
it was like a pure reflection of like, oh my god,
like it was like Tivoli, like the incident with the Tivoli tickets. But on steroids. Like, on steroids, because the train, I had no idea where it was going, no way to contact you.
You have even all my stuff. You have my passports, my money.
Yeah.
All I would have had with me is, like, these 2 eggs. And they're like, guys,
you'd show up at the Canadian embassy with eggs. Like, I can't prove my identity. Definitely.
Last story.
Yes.
Last story that I think is a really also good one is when we went to the restaurant in Germany, where we had to have the lights off. It was to represent us being blind.
Mm-hmm.
And like we stayed there for hours chatting with that waiter, and I thought that was one of the coolest experiences we did.
Yes.
It was purely the connection we had while sitting completely dark and having no idea what anyone looked like.
Yep. Oh, honestly, I went in so like nervous and anxious, just like not knowing what to expect, and like how would I like what if we got pickpocketed? Like how legit was this? And it was
who would know?
Yeah, it was by far the like one of the best experiences I think that we had, and like one of the most humbling too. It just like highly recommend.
I didn't realize how difficult using a spoon would be. Like drinking that soup, I was like, I have no idea if
there's soup all over me.
Is there soup on me, or am I going to eat this spoonful? It's like a challenge every time.
Yeah. Okay, tricky question, but promise that there's like no offense shall be taken, and we will remain friends after. What is the worst / a most annoying thing about traveling with me? There's got to be something. You've spent like a long time with me.
There's so many. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, oh my god, I could only name one.
I'd like to go back to the example that we had in Iceland, which I actually think was one of a very pivotal moment for our friendship. Was after traveling and having that stress of our planes being canceled, and then we traveled, and then we felt like we had to go with no food, no sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, then we got to the hot springs, and I was so exhausted and so done, just so done. And that was me. That's who I am. And you really wanted to continue still capturing those moments on video. And I exploded at you, you exploded at me, and it was good because we had a moment where we communicated saying, like, I just need a moment. I need you to just, like, be in this moment. And I think the challenge with traveling with you, and it's a good challenge, is that you want to just go and capture every single little thing. And I think there are moments when I just wanted to be like, I just need to sit here and look at this street for like 5 minutes and just sit here and look at this car. I don't care. I just need to just sit here rather than being like, like I think you are able to do. So I think with my personality and your personality, learning on that trip that we both experience things a little differently, and sometimes that can clash, I think is the hardest part when traveling with someone. But it's not a fault on either of us. It's just who we are. And we learned on day one, probably hour 20, that this trip is only going to work if we understand that about each other. So that is what I would say would be probably the challenge of traveling with you, is the difference between us when taking in things.
And on the contrary, like on the opposite side, what is the best thing about traveling with me as a travel buddy?
Well, kind of following along the lines, one of the best parts is how much you want to do stuff. Like, you're just like, let's do this and this and this and this. Like, when we planned Europe,
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of times you messaged me saying, like, we can do this and then this and have a 10-second travel time across the city to get here. We can do this. We have a teleporter. Enterprise will beam us up and beam us over here. Like, it was amazing how, like, you were just like, we have 24 hours, but I want to do 48 hours in that 24 hours. Like, it was so cool that you are just someone who's like, I want to experience everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed planning a trip and doing a trip with you that way, because I was like, yes, we're not just gonna sit in a pool and relax, which is totally a cool thing. We've done that in Cuba, absolutely down for that.
For sure.
You understand when it's an adventure trip, it's a we are going until we drop, until we explode. So.
Well, I think especially like when it came to the Europe trip, especially, it was like, well, we have very limited time in each place. I want to get the most out of the time we have there. But yeah, we pushed ourselves a lot. There were some days that we pushed too much. With all good and all bad, the very last question, would you ever travel with me again?
Absolutely. 100%. Only a pandemic can stop us.
Too soon.
No.
That's it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, as well as any other videos you'd be interested in seeing. Also, if you like this video, be sure to give it that thumbs up and hit the subscribe button to be notified of more like it, as well as to join us on future journeys. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, life is what happens between the plans that you make. Bye, guys.